Hello. As you saw yesterday, I made you this skirt behind. Today, I'm going to make a top, but I've run out of time. So I've got to make it as simple as possible because yesterday my husband and my daughter was in my car and they were in a car accident whereby another car ran into the back of them and now they've got whiplash. So my hair is now a qualified massages, what's the word? Therapy. This is my granddaughter, by the way. So I'm now a qualified massagist. And of course, they need massaging. So I had to spend an hour and a half massaging my daughter, who's now knocked out on my table. And now I've only got half a day to make this top. So you saw me wearing this top yesterday. It's now been washed. So, as my granddaughter's going to demonstrate it, model it for me because I cannot find my mannequin. So here is the top that I was wearing yesterday. It's very simple. It's got an opening at the front down here and it's got buttons, but because the pattern is so busy you can't see that there is actually a opening here all the way down. So I'm going to make this top. I can make it without it, but I'm going to do it just for your sake. I'm going to do it in such a way that I'm never going to open it because I've worn this top so many times and I've never opened these buttons because it's spacious. And up the top here it's got some little points, and once again you can't see it, but there are some bust darts in here as well, so I'm going to put some bust darts. And at the back of it, John, hold it. At the back of it you can see it goes straight at the back. So the only difficult thing about making this top here is the piping that goes round the neck and the shoulder. Other than that, it should be a pizza cake for you and for me. Okay, so that's going to be today's lesson. And after I've made this, I've still got enough material left over to make another top. So I can have 2 tops or even 3 to go with one skirt. You never know, I might even be able to get, instead of a top, just a little shorts or something. But anyway, that is today's lesson. Yeah? Thank you. Yeah. What's your name?
Nadia.
Okay, bye. It's holiday now and I've got the grandchildren upstairs. But life goes on and I've got this to make because I'm going out tomorrow. Now, I haven't got time to make an actual pattern before I cut it. So I'm just going to have to cut this freehand with my top. But first of all, what I have to make sure is when you look at the skirt and the pattern, it's actually one way. So let me see. Now look at that leaf there. That leaf there is going down. Let me see if I can find another one, which is more, there, that one. If we look at that pattern there, that's going down. And all of them on this is going down. So what I've got to do is to make sure that the leaf on here, on the fabric, is going down as well. There it is. So I now know that this is up on my fabric. So this is the top and down here is the bottom. So I've now got to make sure that when I lay my pattern on it, I've faced it the right way. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to fold it where I want it and remember that that is the top. So bearing that in mind now, I'm going to cut let's cut the back out because that's the easiest one first. Now this shouldn't take me no time because this is big. So first of all, I'm going to fold the fabric. In fact, I can fold the whole lot. Fold the fabric. And there you can see, there you can see the pattern. There's the back, and there the side, and there's the front. Now I've got to remember and take into consideration the seam allowance. So this seam allowance here is minute. So what I'm going to do is cut it at least 1/2 inch big all the way round, and that's my back. I'm going to tuck this bit in. And there you can see is my pattern. But do you remember on the skirt, when I was making the skirt and I pleated it and then I eased it in? Well, if you look closely on here as well, from this distance to here, they've actually eased it in as well. So what I've got to do is let some out. So I'm going to say that it's been eased in at least an inch. No, less than an inch, right? So when I cut this here, I'm going to cut it a bit further out and then go straight down. And I'm going to do the same as well. And that is done in order to take a bit of shape, and tight fitting at the top where your bust is. So that gives it a bit of shape. So here it's around so I'm going to fold it. It looks around 12 inches. So I'm going to fold it around 12 inches in. Do you know what? I should call my granddaughter back in and let her do the sewing. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Let her do something, because they are on holiday, got nothing to do, so let her do the sewing. And then she can make my top for me. Right, so you've got that. So let's cut it. Let's not waste fabrics, so let's move up. And let's just cut. So you can see there, that's around, let's just do that. So let's cut it there. Now on things like this you cannot go wrong. Now I suppose when I actually bought this top I probably paid around £8 to £12 for it. So you can imagine how I'm really getting money for value out of this fabric. So now I said here is where it is. So I'm now going to cut it just a little bit wider. And I'm going to ease it in when I'm making it. So I've come out wide at the top, but I'm going to slowly work my way down. So that's enough. And here you can see at the top here, it looks straight to me, but let's give it a bit of a shape. Let's give it a slight curve. Now that is too much of a seam allowance, because I'm going to make that far too tall, because this is actually being piped. So that's my back. Now where can you see? It starts here as it starts to gather in. So I'm going to put a little nip there to remind me that's where it gathers in. I'm going to put a little nip here to remind me that's the center, and the gathering stops there. But what I'm going to do to say the gathering, I'm now going to move this. I'm going to put that where it's supposed to be, and then look again where the gathering stops, and then mark it. And that tells me roughly how much I'm going to ease it in by. So from there to there, that's what's going to be eased in. So that's the back taken care of. How simple can it get? That's that done. Now I'm going to do the front. Let me see now. It looks like I can get the front from this section here. But the front is going to be a little bit bigger. Because I said I am going to I'm going to imitate. Oh, I tell you what I'll do as well. No, I won't. I was going to try and do a mirror image in the front, but let's not bother. Another thing, yes, I'm going to do a mirror image. If I can. Almost. Yeah, mirror image. I can do a mirror image. What I mean by that, if you look closely, this fabric here, there's a flower there, there's a flower there. Look, it almost got it. There's one there and one there. So it's almost a mirror image when it's folded. So let's leave it at that. Now, as for the front, I'm going to, let's open it up. You'll see it much better. Now, as I said, I never ever opened this and wore it open in any way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to imitate what's at the front and stitch it so that it never can be opened, so it just looks like it's an opening. And if you wish, you can put a button on it. So there we go. So there's the front. I'm going to try and get it from here. So there's the front. So if I say that this now is my folding that I'm going to fold in front, and so that it looks like a flap. Right. So here's my front. Let's actually mark it. Let's say it's 1 inch. So let me put a nip there, 1 inch there. And 1 inch here. Now, there's my front. So what I'm going to do now is that's very tight, but I can afford to make it smaller. Or should I move this? Yeah, let me move it. Let's start again. Because I don't need to waste it. Because I need to get that point. Let's start again. So we're at this point, 1 inch there. That's the point that I want, so that's important for me. So let's do this now. So I'm going to sweep this and get the air out of it. Now if you look here, the dart, which you might find it difficult to see actually. I'll bring it close in a minute. There is a dart right there, and that dart is around 2 inches. That means it's opened up at around 4 inches. So let me put it this way. This is the cheapest way for you to get a pattern. You use your old stuff and modify it and change it to whatever it is you want. Right, so let me just go ahead and cut it. I need to cut it from this side, so I'm gonna, I'll be in the way. So let's cut it. Have you noticed I've still got my seam allowance? That's where the dart is. Now darts normally go out like that. So because I know, let me just go out 2 inches and 2 inches up there. But to tell you the truth, you could do this. Here's where the dart ends, right there. So if I put a pin in it right here, that's where the dart is. The dart is 2 inches going down. So let's do 2 inches going down. Let's pin it. A bit more than that. I almost missed it. Two inches going down. Put the fabric back on it. And continue cutting. Nadia? Okay. Tell Nadia I want her in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to cut the armpit. Let me see, I've gone too wide. That goes there, that goes there, that goes there. Right, so I've lost a bit on the height, but I can lose it at the bottom. That goes there. Now, I need to get this to there, so this I'm going to go over here and try and get these to, because I can shape it differently. That's going to be folded. That's going to be folded 1 inch in. I just about missed it here, but I've got so much room here, I can actually cut that off and make that fit. So there's my dart. Now it's just to shape this up. There's the front there, there's that there. So So this has turned out quite a lot bigger, so let's make it smaller. That's there, and that's there. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, that's there. There's my scissors. Just tidy this up. That's my point. Don't worry, I'm not going to cut that off. That's my armhole. And just to be double safe, I'll do the opening there. So that's that there. And tidying this up. There's my seam allowance. Let's get you straight. And there's my pattern. My dart, I'm going to put it there. And that's it. Now to double check, let's get the back and the front to be the same. So that's there, that's there, that's there. So I'm going to bring the back down. Ouch. There's my nip. There's my nip. Put my nip back. Right. So now I'm going to put the dart in, and then I'm going to get my granddaughter to sew the seams going down. And basically that's it. Oh, we need another marking for where, at the back, where we're going to put the loops. Centre back. The loop is in the middle of the gathering, so let's put it here. Let's put a V so we know what we're talking about. So that V wasn't too big. Really, that's it. That's all it is that you've paid £12 to £15 for. So now when I'm going to do the bias binding, this is the difficult thing. Now this is going to be made on the bias, but this has got a little thing here to adjust it. I won't be doing that because I haven't bought any of that, so we're just going to have to get the right size, make it to the right size. So for the bias binding, I don't even really want to do that because the bias binding, you're meant to cut it going that way. But I tell you what, if I can get some bias binding tape, that will be cheaper, and don't waste this because I can get another top from this. Right, there's a dark there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to have to open this up, and from there to there stitch up, and it's going to go that direction. But what I've done is I've put some butterfly here so that I can put the darts in both in the same place. So it's a butterfly stitch, so I'm going to cut that there. Right, so that's there. Now this is the bit now that's going to be folded in. So let me see now, that's roughly the same. So I'm just going to do a marking with the iron and open it up because really the inside is the right side. So, but that's what you're going to see when I do that again. That's what you're going to see, that side. So this is the right side and I want that inside. So now they're done. So I'm going to do a top stitch. I'm going to do a top stitch going all the way down here and one there. Then when I've done that, I will open it up and you will see it with a lip. Just trying to show you how you're going to see it. But this time, that's how you're going to see it. And it's going to look as though there is a button going down the side. So I'm going to stitch that first now, and there's my shape and the dart. So you can see the pattern of the dart. So that's how you've made your first pattern. So back to my top. Forgotten. Yeah, that's the top. So here is the front. I pleated it up. There it is. Now I'm going to, with it folded, I'm going to stitch down the side and make it a feature. Do you know I can actually do an embroidery down here? I think that's what I'll do. I'll do an embroidery. That's a